Welcome to Rise, Cristy. I am super excited to dive into this conversation of why do they call you Code Red? I have so many questions, so we're just going to take it step by step. But thank you for joining me today. And I'm just really excited to get to know you. So
this program is right up my alley. I was just looking on the screen here of your logo and the different things that you do. And I love your audience. Your audience is exactly the kind of the people that I love to connect with. So this is such a perfect match. I love being here.
Well, thank you. We're excited you made it. So tell me, Code Red, how did that start? What does that mean?
I was raised very poor in the mountains of northern Idaho. My dad was a minister and our local sheriff. We had no money for anything and grew up. If I wanted to go to college, and I desperately wanted to go to college, I desperately wanted to be a registered nurse. I mean, I'm just obsessed. Even to this day, I'm obsessed with registered nurses. And so in order for me to put my way through college, I had to pay my own way. And nobody was helping anybody in our family. And so I was bartending, I was waiting tables, I was paying my way through college, and I took a boxing class at a local YMCA. And I was just kind of boxing. I never even boxed before. I never thought about boxing. I was not a boxing fan. I didn't watch it. And so I was boxing, and a real boxing coach was actually watching me from the window. And he comes in between rounds. He said, "How long you been boxing?" I said, 44 minutes. And he said, "What?" And he said, "You have a propensity for the sport." And I was just like, "Yeah, whatever, pal." And he goes, "You want to fight?" And I said, "Do I want to fight? No, I don't want to fight. Are you kidding me? No." And he goes, "You can earn money." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what was that? Could you speak into my good ear?" So I started fighting just as a way, as a professional, as a licensed professional fighter at 154 pounds, boxing only, not MMA, as a way to literally pay for dinner, literally pay my way through college. So as my first fight was approaching, I was talking to my sister on the phone, and she said, "Hey, boxers have ring names." I said, "Ring names?" She goes, "Like Cristy Black Widow Nickel." And I said, "What?" And she goes, "We got to call you something, sis." And she goes, "How about Cristy Code for Medical, since you're in nursing school, and red because I had red hair at the time." And she goes, "Cristy Code Red Nickel." And I said, "Sounds good." Well, I'm telling you, Hannah, it was voted one of the best names in boxing history. And I've kept it all these years later. And now everything I do is branded Code Red.
So you have this really incredible documentary that's about to air on April 12th. It's about you. It's about your comeback. And you know what? Let's back it up for a second. So you started as a young girl as a way to pay bills, but you are a fighter. You are a fighter, right? You're a fighter professionally. You took the next step into what? And then we'll get into that documentary.
Well, after fighting, I knew I needed to get out of fighting because because it's just you'll die in the ring eventually. You can't get hit in the head that many times and survive. I already have a head injury. But the problem was I started getting fat. Even though I was a world-class, elite athlete, I started getting fat. And I was like, why am I fat? Because I learned in college, you got to eat less and move more. Well, I'm riding my road bike 300 miles a week. And I would blow out a knee if I moved more. Well, nobody talked to me about the bull crap I was shoving in my pie hole. So when I changed my diet and I lost the weight, that was what came next to me, as creating the Code Red lifestyle and my company. But then my company grew, and we were doing 10 million a year in revenue, and it was really great. I've been on big stages and everything was really great. But I really started letting myself go. In the summer of 2022, I just had enough of my own crap, my own bullcrap excuses, my own bullcrap letting myself off the hook. All these years, I've been a world-class athlete, and I had discipline, and I had boundaries, and I had rules, and I had structure in my life, and I just let it all go, and I just was like, It had less to do with how my body looked and more to do with how my discipline had just become so just like it was nothing. Like it was so frustrating. And so that's when I decided to make a comeback, because I stood here in the middle of my condo and I said, I've got everything a girl could want. But I'm just not happy with myself. I'm full of shame. I'm full of disappointment. I'm full of guilt. I don't like this. And I said, what can I do? Let me think of the hardest thing that I could do. And that's when I made this decision.
I mean, it's a big decision. And, a lot of people, I'm sure, have asked you what I'm going to ask you, why now, right? And you shared why. the mental and emotional mindset that comes around, like you talk about that shame and that, all those different feelings, it kind of throws us off track. I mean, I feel like, I don't know if this is something that we go through, because you did share your age with me earlier pre-show, and we're not too far in age, but I feel like the more wiser we get, I don't like to say older, but I like to say wiser, we start to realize like, hey, you know what? These behaviors don't match what we're saying. It does, our actions have to match our words match our actions. So it's kind of like we feel like, oh, we're not doing what we're saying we're doing. We're teaching, but are we doing it ourselves? So how hard has it been for you to come back into this particular phase in life? Like, it's almost like you're starting over.
Oh, 100%. And that's, I'm turning 48 in April next month. And I am, and that was my why now. My why now is, although it is not old, there are people that all kinds of, the women that I work with are menopausal women in their 50s and 60s. 93% of my clients are women, and they always say to me, they're saying, oh, 48 is not, 47, 46, that's not old. I'm not saying it's old. I'm saying that I don't have a ton of time left. I mean, plus this time is precious, and I was wasting it. I was what we call, sorry, Jesus, I'm going to say it, pissing it away. I was pissing away my days. I wasn't making the most. I wasn't being the most of what I could be. And I wasn't really showing up for myself. I was wasting time by just letting life pass me by. And for what? And coming back at this age, much, much, much harder. The saying is, the youth is wasted on the young. Man, do I agree with that. Youth is wasted on the young, because back when I was 20, 22 doing this, I mean, I didn't have the injuries. So I had a lot of things to work around. Not only physically, my body had injuries, and I just had to do things so much smarter. I had no wiggle room on my diet. I mean, I couldn't even think about even looking at a piece of whatever that was off plan. But I had other things to have to, I have a brand new puppy that I got, and I'm running this multi-million-dollar company, and I'm trying to be a daughter, and I'm trying to be a sister, and I've got family issues. I've got, lots of employees and lots of moving parts behind the scenes. So there were so many obstacles to try to manage. I mean, at one point during the filming, during my transformation, the roof blew off of the shipping warehouse of my shipment. We ship about 100 to 200 pieces a day of a product that I have. And it blew off, and I had to fly out there the next day. And here I am smack dab in the middle. There's always something, Hanna. And it's always something for your audience listening. You're like, well, I'm not a bodybuilder. Well, hold on a minute. You all have crap going on, and you're all putting off stuff because you're like, well, my dad's in the hospital. My son got a DUI. Well, I'm getting a promotion at work. Blah, 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 blah. It's always gonna be something. And you'll see in this film that I overcame thing after thing after thing after thing that was thrown my way, and I kept overcoming it. And you guys can too. That's what I want you guys to take away from this film.
So let's talk about that for a second. So you have a documentary coming out, Code Red, Diaries of Madness, which the title, Diaries of Madness, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, this is madness in the sense that you're starting over, and like everything that you just described is life. We all go through it. It's how we handle it. It's that persistence, that that grit, so to speak, and what you're doing. I mean, you've worked with some extraordinary people throughout your career. You've trained and helped others in your journey. And we don't have to throw names, but I mean, for you to be in that arena, obviously you're doing something right. You have the grit, the tenacity, the persistence, and now you have this documentary coming out, and it's going to show it. And I saw a little clip of what the world gets to see. And you're not just talking the talk, you're actually walking the walk. So what do you say to those women? You described women in their 40s, 50s, 60s. What do you say to them now? Like, how do we start over? Because so many of us want to, but we're afraid. What was one of your biggest fears?
Yeah. And you know what you're afraid of? You know what I say to them? What are you afraid of, huh? Well, you're afraid of getting laughed at? Are you afraid of not being able to do it? Are you afraid of just gaining the weight back, not, quitting? What are you afraid of? You know what people are afraid of, Hannah? They're afraid of what other people are going to think.
That's
And they're afraid of not following through, that just quitting something. I mean, you wonder why your husband rolls his eyes every time you say, I'm going to try 8CG, or I'm going to try this next diet, because you've wasted thousands of dollars on failed diets. So you've let yourself down so many times. So yeah, I can see why you would be afraid of that. But if you want it bad enough, and I say to people, say, well, it's hard to give up, my wine. Oh, really, Karen? When you're sick and tired of being fat enough,
yes.
you'll put the crap down, because it's either the free chips on the plane, or it's the seatbelt extender. You cannot have it both ways. So when you get sick enough of your own bull crap, and you get sick of wasting away your life and wasting the days and not having anything to show for it, then you will do it. I am the mommy martyr attitude. I don't like it, ladies. Don't even try to pull that crap on me. Oh, boo, boo, boo. No, ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody's impressed. Everybody's got crap. All right. How bad do you want this? Because when nobody's looking, you got to look at yourself in the mirror, and you've got to say, I don't like what I see. So if it hurts bad enough, you will do something with it. If not, you'll keep doing the same stuff, and your life will pass you by.
First of all, do you know my husband, Jerry? Because he does roll his eyes at me when I've said, hey, I'm going to try this. Like for the longest time, I begged we had like this tug of war. I said, I want a Peloton. Why? You're not going to use it. I'm like, no, I will. I swear I will. Well, I got it for Christmas one year, right? And I had an injury and didn't get back on it. So the other day he says, I'm going to sell it. And I said, you will do no such thing. And he said, then use it. What's your excuse? So when you said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my husband rolling his eyes at me. Yeah. And that mommy martyr, talk to me about what mommy martyr is, because that is something, if I'm thinking and identifying, we have a lot of that happening.
We have women that wear it as a badge of honor to worry about their kids. Your 15-year-old, first of all, ladies, your 15-year-old don't need to be out at 1:00 in the morning. Stop that bull crap, ladies. You put down your foot with your household. You run this household like you run a military, okay? You put down your foot with these kids, but then you let your 15-year-old be out till 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and then you stay up all night worrying. Oh, I'm worrying about my kids. And then you act like that's a badge of honor. That's a good sign of a good mom. And in the meantime, you're getting sicker and fatter, and you're causing yourself all these problems. You're on loads of medication. You don't have any confidence. You have no energy. You don't want to have intimacy with your husband. And so all these problems are happening, but you think it's okay because I'm worried about my kids. You're putting yourself last. You think it's okay because you think, well, putting myself first means putting everybody else last. No, it does not. Putting yourself first. I mean, imagine showing your kids how it is like to show up for yourself. You don't want your daughters and your sons growing up thinking it's okay to let you bioaccumulate so much unhealthy fat and unhealthy. You're becoming unhealthy, and you're going through the drive-through. You're ruining your health. Death is coming sooner for those of you who keep putting this crap off. And now you're in the hospital. Now you're on medications, and you think it's okay because you're what? Say it with me, ladies. Doing it for my kids or my grandkids. That's baloney. And that badge of honor ain't no badge of honor. It needs to stop, ladies.
I couldn't agree more. What do you think in the sense of your journey? What do you think some of the hardest parts have been for you? And I don't even want to call this a comeback. Hearing you talk and what you're sharing, I feel like more it's an enlightenment. Like there's something that shifted for you, and it's not a comeback. It's things that you already know, things that you've been doing all along, but it's a different way. But what do you think's been the hardest so far?
What has been the hardest? Yeah, I mean, it is the ultimate comeback story. You're right. I mean, it's a really great like underdog story. Like you'll walk away just feeling so fired up. But it was an enlightenment. And the hardest thing for me, I'll tell you what it was. So I lost almost 30 pounds. I probably shouldn't. I don't know how much I should tell you that I lost almost 30 pounds, and I did it in such a drastic, quick amount of time. And when I got halfway down with my weight, I started to get lazy because I thought it was good enough. I hadn't reached the goal yet. But I started to go, you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine the way I am. I look fine. And I was fine. Remember, your weight doesn't dictate how good of a person you are. It doesn't dictate your beauty. It is simply how much gravitational pull you have on the earth. And we want to be healthy. We want to be in a healthy weight for our bodies because our bodies are not meant to carry around more weight than it needs. It's not good for our back, our ankles, our knees, our hips, anything like that. But I would look in, I was halfway to my goal, and I would look in the mirror and I would say, I really like myself. I really like the way I look and feel. I just want to stop now. And I battled with pushing through past, because I was like, I'm good enough, like right here. So that was, you'll hear that in the film, this just low part that I reached where I was like, I don't want to keep going. I'm good enough the way I am. And of course, to accomplish the actual goal that you'll see in the film, I had to push much, much, much lower. So that's not something that a lot of my clients during their weight loss journey, they'll feel they won't be the goal, but they will be good enough, better than they were before, kind of like that. And they'll get stuck in the middle, like celebrating 40 pounds down, which is good. We should, but you still have 40 pounds to go, and they'll stop. And so that was hard for me because I just wanted to stop. I was like, I like it. I'm good enough the way I am right now. That was a hard part for me. And then kind of the enlightenment part was just realizing it takes such a small amount of effort to maintain my health. And I wasn't even doing that. And there people say, oh, I ain't got time. Bull crap. You've got time for whatever the heck you value. And I wasn't valuing myself enough to make time for it when I had let myself go. But then when I got back on track and I started taking care of myself, I realized it's not that hard. It doesn't take that much effort to drink my water, to go to bed on time, quit scrolling through TikTok, go to bed on time, get up on time, walk. It's walking, it's moving. It's not that hard. So people make it out to be much harder than it is.
How in this whole process of the comeback, how long and how often have you been training?
Oh, Lord Jesus. I mean, remember, guys, keep in mind that this was an extreme, this was an extreme shift. So I don't think, let me just preface this by saying you guys should not do this. Do not do this. Do not do what I did. But in order for me to be stage ready and actually be able to get on stage in a bikini for a bikini bodybuilding competition, I was training 5 hours a day there towards the end, and it just became exhausting. It was like, for those girls to look that good, you have to feel really, really, really bad. And I don't suggest anybody doing it. So the minimum for my transformation was 2 hours a day. And then it just got to be 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. And it was a lot of my days sucked up with training there towards the end.
So to the woman who is watching and listening to you now, you're saying don't do it in that extreme.
Right.
What would you tell someone who really wants to accomplish what you have done? What would you tell them the first step would be?
If they want to actually get on stage for a bodybuilding competition, okay, that's fine. If they're like, listen, it's always been in my heart. I love the girls with the big muscles. I want to have muscles like that. I want to have separation, striations. I want to have six-pack abs, all that stuff. Okay, well, it's going to take a little longer than what you think. It's going to be a little harder than what you think. Get ready to be hungry. Get ready to go through extreme dieting, that kind of stuff. But there are so many other extreme great accomplishments that you can do. You can run a half marathon. You can run a 10K. How about climbing up Mount Whitney, which is the tallest peak in the lower 48? How about do rim to rim of the Grand Canyon? I've done those. There are so many other things that you can do a mud run. You can push your kid in a stroller. You can do a charity walk. There's so many things that people can do that really are hard, that are going to get you out of your comfort zone and help you accomplish something extreme, really, without having to go through a bodybuilding competition. Because one guy said to me, he said, what was harder, boxing or bodybuilding? By far, bodybuilding. By far. There was so many moving parts behind the scene that I had to track every little thing. And it's all consuming. So you have to really be mentally prepared. Whereas training for a half marathon, you train, and then you don't really have to worry about a lot of other stuff, you know? So I would, just explore all your options. Don't think the only way to look like Cristy is to do what Cristy did. No, you can look a little bit like Cristy and do other things that are like, let you have a little more flexibility and freedom in your schedule.
So you have been persistent the entire journey. And you talked about this time when you said, I like how I am right now. Some people consider that a plateau. Like they're good where they are and they've kind of plateaued. I hear this word all the time in the fitness industry. And a lot of people will stop. What's something that you could share with the viewers today why they should not stop?
A plateau to a bodybuilder in the bodybuilding industry, and a plateau to your average woman, two very, very different things. A plateau to somebody who is a competitive bodybuilder is a true plateau. A plateau to somebody that's an everyday average woman is not a plateau. It's a bullcrap excuse. Here's what's going on. One of three things, or all three things, are happening. The top three reasons that you have plateaued in your weight loss, which only means stalled. You've stalled, and that's be lack of water, lack of sleep, or you have gotten sloppy with your food. What do I mean by sloppy with your food? You've eaten Costco samples. Okay, you had the fry from your kid. Here, give mommy one fry. Give mommy one fry. You were sloppy. You're putting crap in your pie hole that didn't belong there. That's gonna, oh, I'm plateaued. No, you're not, Karen. You're shoving crap in your mouth that doesn't belong there. You're off plan. Or you're drinking Diet Coke instead of water. That'll make you plateau. Or you're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram. By the way, do that on my page if you want to. I got good stuff. And you're just getting in bed. Now you're sleeping 11 p.m. You're falling asleep and you're getting up at 6. That's not the full, and you're getting a crappy sleep score. That's all going to cause you to what you're going to call plateau, but it's only you're causing it. A plateau is generally something you don't cause, but 99% of the time, ladies, you are causing it, because if we get down to the brass tacks and you look at me in my eyes and I say, hey, wait a minute, Sue. Wait a minute. Are you telling me you are drinking you're doing 100% of the rules correct 100% of the time? And you're like, no, I'm really not. Oh, the truth comes out.
The excuses. I think we're so good at looking for excuses to excuse why we stopped doing what we're doing, to excuse why we tapped out, so to speak. And I was going to ask you, what did you find harder, boxing or bodybuilding? But you already said it. My husband boxed for a long time. My daughter tried it and she said, Mom, I don't want to do that because I don't like to run, the conditioning. And it's, so, I mean, there's some people I feel love that adrenaline, to be working out, the sweat, the grit. And then there's some like me who I look at the gym and I look at these people and I'm like, how do they do that? Like you riding 300 miles a week on a bike. And I'm like, what? And there's a lot of people who think like that. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Sure. It's overwhelming to you. 100%. It's stupid. It's just enormous amount. It's an enormous volume that you cannot get your head wrapped around. And so a lot of people will see what I did and they'll say, oh man, like that is so far out there that they don't even want to start doing anything. But the real life is not that. Real life is just walking your dog. Real life is getting 30 minutes of walking a day. Real life is just making sure you don't eat late. Real life is making sure that you have one glass of wine and not 2 or 3. Real life is much more manageable than what I did. But a lot of people, they don't even want to do that. And yeah, you're boxing, it's funny about boxing. Adrenaline only lasts about 2 to 3 minutes. And that's why you see these women that can lift cars off their babies and stuff. It's because adrenaline has nothing to do with boxing. So adrenaline wears off in the first round, and it's all about a part of the road work that your daughter didn't want to do, the training, the long, and being able to relax in boxing is huge. That's why they'll have us do these jump rope drills. Well, jump roping not only works on your foot and your hand speed, but it forces you to learn how to relax in the midst of chaos. And so you're trying to jump rope really quick. I can do tricks on a rope. I mean, I can go 30 straight minutes without stopping jumping rope. It's because I know how to control my breath. So boxing is all about controlling your emotions and your breathing and just settling in and just relaxing the whole time. So it's a little bit of a misconception about boxing, but it's a different monster. Bodybuilding just had so many more moving parts. It was diet and exercise, and then it was trying to get like these little veins in my stomach to pop out. That's just not natural. It's so extreme.
I mean, that's yeah, and the persistence and passion has, I feel like it's really, honestly, this is how I see it, and I could be wrong, but I really think it's a lot of mental. Your mindset just has to really, like, your mindset has to be in a certain way so that your body follows. So if your mind's strong, your head's strong, you're going to continue to do what you're doing, right? Or is it, or am I seeing it different?
A lot of people say mindset, and that's a very common thing. And it's some of it's mindset. You still have to have a good program and a good protocol, a good structure, a good schedule, and you've got to adhere to that. You're right. The mindset comes in when you don't want to get up at 5 a.m. But if you go to bed at 9, if you fall asleep at 9, getting up at 5 is not that hard. So you don't need a lot of mindset pushing you through. You have to have, even with the average woman just trying to lose weight, like on my program Code Red, you can lose all the weight you want without shakes, pills, diet foods, or exercise. You don't need it. It's real food, water, and sleep. And so we say, yeah, mindset is 50%, but you actually have to have a good structure. You can't just do 8 shots and be on a 500 calorie a day diet, be starving and say, oh, that's all in my mind. Bull crap. You're legitimately starving. That's not in your mind. So with Code Red, because we have a high fat diet, you're never hungry or hangry. You're drinking lots of water. You feel super good. So you have to have a good, strong protocol or program to whatever you're doing that works and gets results. But yeah, the mindset comes into play when you feel like not going or you feel like quitting.
So walk me through some of the Code Red. Like, what does that look like to, say, me? I come to you and I say, look, Cristy, I've just had it. I'm 50. I'm fighting health issues. Is there even hope? Do you have a program for someone like me? What would you say?
We have, you can lose, our clients lose 10% of their body weight every month without shakes, pills, diet foods, or exercise. We get just as much weight off of people as bariatric surgery, and we do it through real food, water, and sleep. That's it. So people enter into Code Red usually through either my Code Red Revolution book. I've written 7 books, but one of them, the Revolution book, was a bestseller. Or they'll enter into what we call a 10-pound takedown. So the 10-pound takedown is you spend 30 days in a closed private group. You can lose at least 10 pounds in 30 days following very simple rules, tracking your water, your weight, and your sleep, and following the rules list. And so we have you eat meat, vegetables, nuts, eggs, seeds, seafoods, and fat. You eat 2 or 3 times a day. You don't eat late. You drink your water. You track your weight. You track your water. You track your sleep. And you can lose at least 10 pounds. The average weight loss is 12.2 during the week. If you really want to go a little deeper after that, I can write you a customized program, and you can go to 10% of your body weight off every month. The 2023 Code Red Rebel of the Year, Lori Stobart, lost 205 pounds in 18 months. So that's an average of almost 3 pounds a week just doing real food, water, and sleep. And it sounds too good to be true because the diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry that wants to sell you a shake or a pill. And and I just tell people, like, people come to me when they are ready to do bariatric surgery. When they're ready, you just can't cherry pick my program and say, oh, a little bit of my church keto group and a little bit of Weight Watchers, and a little bit of this and bull crap. No, you do my program or you don't. And people know when they come to me, there is no negotiating on the rules, my way or the highway. My program works. I've been doing this 29 years. There's nobody that's better at getting weight off of people than me. And the good thing about the 10-pound takedown is I come live to you every day and I teach you something new so that you actually understand the nature of the trap, that you're not stupid, you're not lazy, it's not your fault. It's just that you've been sold a bill of goods. We're undoing that damage and teaching you a new way.
Woo. so much energy.
Yeah.
So how did this particular project come to life for you, this documentary?
I had let myself go up to the summer of 2022. I'd really just let myself go. And I just got so lazy and so complacent. It wasn't the kind of person that I am. I just did not adhere to my core foundational beliefs and what I really believe in. I let it all go. I had just gone through a divorce. I just was like, I didn't care. And I was just like, I felt like crap. I looked like crap. And mostly I was disappointed in myself. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do something hard. I called up a buddy of mine. His name is Chris Gethin. He's a world-renowned bodybuilder and a trainer, and he lives right down the road from me. And he said, I said, hey, buddy, I said, I want to do something hard, something big. He said, what do you got? Yeah, what do you have in mind? Everybody wants me to return to boxing, but no way, Jose. Because of my current head injury, I cannot take another hit to the head. And so I said, the hardest thing I can think of would be getting back on stage and competing at my age at such a low starting point. And he said, well, hold on. If you're going to do that, I'm going to call up Generation Iron, which is a producer, a company that produces films for bodybuilding. And I'm going to see if they want to film it. And I was like, I thought, and I've done documentaries. I've been on MTV. I've done lots of things. And so I just kind of like, I was going to do it one way or the other. Well, they called me up about 2 hours later and said, Cristy, we know about you. You're dynamic and engaging and funny. And we've never featured a female before. We would like to film you. And we started the next week filming, and we filmed from start to end. And I had cameras around me, Hanna. People think that is so cool to have cameras. No, it's cool for like 20 minutes and then you get sick of it real quick.
Yes, I actually can relate to that. And you're right. You want your privacy, like those breakdowns that you want to have. You don't want them to be public. And it kind of leads into what I was going to say. So I saw a little snip of what the world is looking forward to that's releasing April 12th. And it was this part when you were undressing and you're like there and you're raw. And I was watching your expressions.
Oh, Hanna.
I must have watched it, I'm not even kidding, probably 20 times. And I was like, the whole time I was like, I wasn't worrying about what he was saying. I wasn't worried, but I was thinking, what is going through her mind right now?
Yeah. I was terrified. And when I took off my clothes, you guys might see that and you'd be like, oh, her body's not that bad. It's not just about the body. It was about all the shame and guilt and self-loathing that I had been hiding and I had carried around. And so it was more about just stripping all that off and showing everything. And what you guys didn't see was in the room were a whole lot of people, a lot of very big name people, a lot of people that are in really good shape, a lot of people, and they were whispering and they were pointing, and it was humiliating, Hanna. It was so embarrassing to strip it all off and stand there. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was worried sick. I thought he was going to laugh at me. I didn't know what he was going to say, but I was terrified. And I've fought some really amazing girls over the course of my career. There's really not a lot that scares me in my life. I've just been through a lot. I was in an abusive marriage, 30 years ago. I can get through a lot of crap and be totally fine. I've got loads of confidence, but let me tell you, I was at my lowest when I had to take off all my clothes in front of everybody and they're taking pictures of me. Oh man, it was horrible moments.
So I watched your expressions and I thought, brave. That was the first thing that came to mind, because I knew that it wasn't just you and him in the room. I knew that there were so many other elements. People don't understand what it takes to even do a documentary. Often at times they think of the front side and how the aesthetics look on the front, but no one really understands what goes on the backside. And you weren't in that room alone. And so I was watching and I'm like, wow, look at this girl who is ready to bear it and share it to the world. And there was no hesitation. That's what I was looking for. Is there hesitation? And all I could see was this brave face that you put on, and you're like, this is me.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you. That means a lot that you noticed that, because that's what I had to do. I had to You have to start somewhere. All of you guys do listening, and you've got to go into your bathroom and your bedroom and your closet mirror, and you've got to come face to face with what you've become. And you don't need to have a bunch of cameras. You don't need to have people. You don't need to have people laughing at you. I mean, everybody's got their turning point, but you have to have a starting point. And maybe you are so low, you are reaching to touch the bottom, that you're that low. You're lower than low. You're so low. And that's how low I was. And I get it. But you have to start somewhere. You can't keep hiding. And I knew this was the starting point. And more than anything, I was afraid he was going to tell me that there's nothing that he could do because he couldn't help me, that I was too far gone. And I'm here to tell you, nobody's too far gone. You are not too far gone. I've seen people come back from just unbelievably circumstances, horrifying circumstances where they were victimized, and they were like just terrible, heart-wrenching things that you can't even imagine even for 1 second. And they come back from that. So you're not in a situation where you are so far gone that you can't come back from it. You have to remember that, but you've got to come face to face with your own crap, and you've got to move up from there. And that's what I had to do on that moment.
Well, you owned it, and you owned it in an impeccable manner. And I had to just share with you what I saw. So I know if I'm seeing that, and when this releases, you have truly shown men and women that it can be done, that it is hard. The transparency that you show through this, we oftentimes go based off of social media and how we look in social media. But the reality is the grit, the tenacity, the will, the want, all of those things have to happen. But also you are human. So you do experience the fear, the terrified feeling that you talked about. So it's normal, but you can still do it. You just got to get up and do it. So Code Red, Diaries of Madness.
I'm so tired of this. What have I gotten myself into?
She is a retired professional boxer.
I knew nothing about boxing. I started fighting just as a way to pay my way through college.
I started winning every fight, knockout, knockout, knockout. You don't become one of the top 3 most dangerous females on the planet by not busting your ass.
She's at a very low starting point.
I said to myself, I'm going to compete in a Miss Fitness USA competition. They started laughing at me. I have settled for being mediocre. So I decided to get back on stage.
Nothing can prepare you for having to take off all your clothes and let it all hang out.
This is what I normally look like.
You cannot biohack your way out of the Carl's Jr. drive-thru.
Look at his ass.
I can't get going. I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm so tired. My body hasn't changed very much. The doctor suggested that I quit immediately. I'm not stopping. When you feel like you've got nothing left, you still have 30% in the tank.
Are you telling me you're gonna leave by this bullcrap? Death is coming sooner to you.
I'm back to going hard every day, every day, every day.
That is how champions are made.
Why did I agree to do this? I'm scared.
People can watch it on Apple TV. They can watch it on Amazon Prime and other areas where there is video on demand. And thank you so much for watching it, you guys. Thank you for getting it when it comes out, because it helps me when you do that. It helps the film when you get that, when you watch that film when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely. We will definitely make sure too that we spread the word. So what do you think your biggest message would be for today, right now?
Right. You mean from the takeaway of the film, or my general message?
Your general message.
General message. I have a heart for ladies. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, I have a heart for ladies, but of course anybody can use this. My general message would be to do something with yourself. Stop letting your life just pass you by and you're wasting your time, because every single one of you all have something down deep in here. You have something that the world needs to hear, and you are not living your true authentic self. You're doing what you think other people want you to do. And no matter what, Hanna, I have done with my hair in the past, people have made fun of me. No matter what my makeup is, people make fun of me and make fun of my hair, my makeup, my shoes, my clothes. They're always going to say crap, and they're always going to say crap about you. So it doesn't matter if you change, they're going to say crap about that too. So are you showing up and living your true authentic self? Most of you aren't. And I'm telling you right now, you say, well, I would die for my kids. I'd die for my kids. You ain't even living for your kids, and you're not living for yourself. Or are you? Ask yourself that question.
Ooh, yeah. Now, see, when you're asking, are you living? Are you? That's. I wonder. Oftentimes, when women are, especially women, like you said, you have a love for women, and women, do we live for us, or are we living for what we think we should be living for? Like, when do we put us first? So many nuggets that you dropped today, and one of my last questions to you, you have trained and helped some of the biggest names in film industry. And do they experience some of the things, and we don't have to say the who, what, when, but as you're talking to me, are these the types of talks that you've had to share with them to say, hey, at the end of the day, this is on you? You know, is there a difference? Do they talk back and tell you, hey, no, I can't. I can't. And then are you code reading them saying, yes, you can?
The one thing that you'll notice about me is I am the same Cristy Code Red, whether you see me right now or in a Walmart parking lot or in a church sanctuary or at anywhere out at dinner with some friends. I am the same. I talk the same. I act the same. It is the exact same. And I've trained, and I have permission to use their name. I trained Katie Couric for a long time. I trained Hilary Swank, the singer Pink. I trained Chris Noth. Lots of Claire Danes, lots of really great actors in the industry. And I am here to tell you guys, which is what has helped me with my confidence so much. They really are no different, except for having, for riding on private jets instead of you and I riding on Delta or Southwest. They are not any different. They come in with bad breath. They come in with missing socks. They come in and they came in with attitude so much. They have their crap just like we have our crap. Their son, their kids back talk them. They get crap from their spouse. It's all the same. It's surprisingly similar. And so I do not let anybody off the hook. And I don't care. Katie Couric would come in. She did Tuesday, Thursday when I lived in New York, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. Well, I had another client at 10 a.m. who was a stay-at-home mom who also did training with me. Katie would come in 20 minutes late every time. Well, guess what? Hanna, she got a 40-minute session because her money is not any more green than the lady Sophia coming in after her. Like, no, I don't care. Show up on time next time. I got another client. Everybody gets treated the same. I do not care who they are. And I don't put up with anybody's bullcrap. A lot of people won't say it to them straight. You say it respectfully, you say it with love, but you got to have the tough love. And of course, the tough love only works if they can feel the love first. And that's what I think. That's why my style resonates with so many people, because you can see that I love them and I say what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, because the industry is all too happy to coddle you and keep you fat and keep you sick or keep you buying another pill or another shake or another shot and just making money for them. I'm not down with that. We got to get our act together, and you're going to hear it straight from me, no matter who you are.
I love it. Integrity and accountability. Boom.
Yes.
Boom, boom. So how can we and anyone who's watching and listening support your comeback and support this documentary and just overall support you?
Well, definitely, please watch the film when it comes out. That is so great. It's just like when you guys go to the movie theater and watch a film when it comes out. It really helps. It helps the film. It helps me when you do that personally, because I invested in this film. I paid for this with my own money, and so for you guys watching the film, it's just drastically helps me out. And any kind of sharing that you can do, thank you. And on social media across all platforms, if it's all going to be at Cristy Code Red. And so no matter where I am, you're going to see at Cristy Code Red, you're going to be able to find me. And if you Google me, you'll find me. And I've got programs to help you. If you're really sick of your own crap and you need a good, hard kick in the fanny, you got to come to me. But I'm not letting you off the hook. So you need to be ready.
That's right. Be ready. One last question before we go. Is there something that we just don't know about you yet that you would like to share today? And this one gets everybody to do the reaction you just did.
I will tell you, there's something that a lot of people know that, and I'm not in a relationship right now. I would love to be in a relationship. I'm actually a very, very, very submissive wife. When I am, or a partner, however you want to say it, I'm not dominant in the home and in a relationship. I am so alpha right now, but I respond very well to an alpha male, and I completely change into a very soft, feminine person with an alpha male, in the presence of an alpha male, and one who cares and protects and loves and provides. I turn into a completely different person that a lot of people can't believe when they hear that about me.
Actually, I can see that. I can actually see that. Well, I want to say a huge congratulations to you. I am very excited for you and to watch the entire documentary. We wish you the most success in all that you do. And congratulations, Cristy. Cristy Code Red Nickel. I love it. I love it. I love that title, Code Red.
Yeah,
It totally fits you.
I appreciate
that. So everyone can follow you, social media, Diaries of Madness, Code Red, April 12th. You said you had a book.
Yeah, I've got a new book coming out at the same time. It's called Rebel for Life. It's being printed and bound right now, and it's gonna be at my premiere party, and it's really great. It's called Rebel for Life.
So Rebel for Life, Code Red, Diaries of Madness, April 12th.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations to you, and thank you for joining me today on Rise.
Thank you, Hannah.